Itsuo Sonobe, former Supreme Court judge, "We should recognize women and female emperors," proposes a proposal to revise the Imperial House Law, which has stalled the debate. Discussions for stable succession to the imperial throne are making slow progress. The current line of succession to the imperial throne is Prince Akishino in first place, Prince Hisahito in second place, and Prince Hitachi in third place, but Hisahito is the only male member of the imperial family among the younger generation, and there are concerns about the stability of the succession is left behind. In December 2021, the Council of Experts on Stable Succession to the Imperial Throne compiled a report stating that in order to secure the number of members of the imperial family, 1. Female members of the imperial family, the imperial princess and the queen, should retain their status as members of the imperial family even after marriage. Two proposals were proposed, allowing adoptions that are not recognized as members of the imperial family, and making male descendants of the former 11 imperial families members of the imperial family. The Liberal Democratic Party held only one roundtable meeting in January 2022, but there are now signs of movement. On October 23, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida stated in his statement of policy, "I look forward to active debate in the Diet so that the consensus of the legislative branch can be compiled as soon as possible," and called for the creation of a new organization within the party that would report directly to the president. Policy and Yomiuri Shimbun reported. Attention is also focused on whether the long-shelved debate will make any progress. Former Supreme Court Justice Itsuo Sonobe, 94, who served as acting chairman of the Expert Council on Imperial House Laws, 2005, which was established as a private advisory body to Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi, said, "The stable succession of the imperial throne is in jeopardy." For the stable succession of the imperial system, it is important to maintain direct lineage. We must recognize female emperors and female lineage emperors. A panel of experts, chaired by Sonobe, submitted a report stating that a female or female line emperor would be recognized, but the discussion came to a halt with the birth of Prince Hisahito. In order to maintain the imperial system in a stable manner, what should the debate be about the issue of imperial succession? We asked Mr. Sonobe, a leading expert on imperial law. Sakiko Yamaguchi, Bengo4.com News Editorial Department. Filled circle, issues inherited from the Heisei era remain. Issues inherited from the Heisei era remain. In the current imperial household, the next generation of successors to the imperial throne after His Majesty the Emperor and Crown Prince Akishino or His Imperial Highnesses Prince Hisahito. Even if His Royal Highness Prince Hisahito marries in the future, we do not know whether they will have a son or not. The crisis situation continues, far from ensuring a stable succession to the throne. As a legal scholar, I have conducted many studies and discussions, and I believe that it is difficult to maintain a stable imperial system under the current system in which male members of the imperial line inherit the throne. In order to maintain the imperial household system, the most important thing to prioritize is stable succession to the imperial throne. And for that purpose it is important that there be direct lineage. After that, there will be a debate as to whether it is a man or a woman. I served as acting chair of the Expert Council on the Imperial House Law, which was established as a private advisory body to Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi. We have been discussing the possibility of a female emperor for about a year, and submitted a report in November 2005. The main points are: 1. Expanding the eligibility for succession to the imperial throne to include women and female lineage. 2. Giving priority to direct lineal succession to the imperial throne. And 3. Giving priority to the eldest among siblings. In January 2006, 2 months after the proposal was submitted, during a meal at the Prime Minister's official residence, Prime Minister Koizumi announced that he would submit a bill to revise the Imperial House Law to the regular Diet session in March. However, in February, when it became known that Princess Kiko was pregnant, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was the chief cabinet secretary at the time, announced that he would "freeze discussion of the amendment," and discussions came to a halt. In fact, former Prime Minister Abe was also present at the table I had dinner with in January. And I was left with the impression that he did not hide his dissatisfied expression. Later, under the administration of Yoshihiko Noda of the former Democratic Party of Japan, an expert council was set up and apparently aimed to revise the code, but this did not come to fruition. Even in the Reiwa era, the Supplementary Resolution to the Imperial House Law Special Cases Act calls on the government to promptly consider the change. However, politics have not progressed and the matter has been shelved, leaving the stable succession of the imperial throne in jeopardy. After discussion, if it is necessary to revise the law based on the voice of the people, it must be done. The first thing that is important when discussing this is not to keep in mind the specific situation of the imperial family. We need to think about the ideal system of imperial succession. Without mentioning names such as Princess Aiko, Crown Prince Akishino, and Prince Hisahito. Why does Japan need an imperial system? If this is necessary, consider whether or not female emperors, and female members of the imperial family should be recognized. If it is necessary, think about the application period, target audience, etc. This is an important attitude when discussing. Filled circle. The importance of directly connected. The current Imperial House Law states in Article 1 that "the imperial throne shall be inherited by males in the male line of the imperial line," and Article 2 states that the order of succession to the imperial throne is, in principle, from parents to children. It is stipulated that priority is given to the firstborn child. Historically, succession to the imperial throne was not always direct lineal succession. Of the 125 successions from the first generation to the current 126th emperor, there were 70 cases in which direct lineage succeeded, and 55 cases in which the emperor's older brother, sister, younger brother, or more distant blood relative of the imperial family succeeded. There are philosophies that respect direct lineal succession, such as the "unchanged standards" that are said to have been established by Emperor Tenji. And there is a tendency for direct lineal succession to be more common during periods of political stability. The principle of inheritance is considered to be direct descent. Through this history, the Meiji Imperial House Law established a legal system for direct succession to the imperial throne. At the time of its establishment, the Imperial House Law Code, authored by Hirofumi Ito, explained that it was the correct rule since the founder of the sect that the imperial throne should be passed down through direct lineage. Filled circle return of former imperial family to imperial status. To what extent will the people be satisfied? Some say, "I'm in favor of a female emperor. But I'm against a female emperor." The current imperial house law limits the eligibility for succession to the imperial throne to male members of the imperial lineage who belong to the imperial line. Articles 1 and 2. According to the Yuhikaku Legal Terminology Dictionary, 4th edition, compiled by the Legal Terminology Study Group, the male lineage and female lineage can be explained as follows. Patrilineal lineage, in a family lineage, the systematic relationship of blood relations seen only through the male line. In other words, the relationship between those who do not have any female relatives in the family line. Feminine lineage, strictly speaking, it refers to a blood relationship that involves only females. But it is also broadly used to refer to a non-male lineage relationship that includes at least one female person in the middle. Both the Meiji Law, enacted in 1897, and the current law debated whether or not there should be a female emperor or an emperor of female lineage. Discussions were held from many viewpoints, including politics, society, history, culture, and religion, including national consciousness, the relationship with history and tradition, stability of the imperial throne, and consideration for those involved. And after that, it was decided to limit it to direct male descendants. Became, naturally, people's awareness of the imperial family and their sense of distance from the people change over time. At the root of the criticism that they do not recognize women or female line emperors is the disdain that women cannot be entrusted with. I think Japan's male-centered politics will destroy Japan. After the war, there was a lot of talk about equal rights between men and women, and I thought that new ways of thinking were coming in, but where exactly did that go? Currently, there is some discussion about reinstating male lineage members of the former imperial family who were renounced after the end of the war. But more than 70 years have passed since they renounced the imperial family, and it has been 600 years since they were connected to the current imperial family lineage. There are many people who agree with this, and I don't know to what extent the people will agree with it. Filled circle, the nature of the imperial family and its sense of distance from the people change with the times. Japanese people do not follow a presidential system or a European-style monarchy, but rather have a very old and unique historical view of Japan. I was born in colonial Korea in 1929, went to Taiwan in second grade, and celebrated the end of the war there. The Imperial Palace is located in the middle of Tokyo, far from the colonies. Even so, every morning during the morning assembly, people from the colonies bowed toward the Imperial Palace and worshipped the emperor. I remember that every holiday, the school principal would respectfully bring a photo of the emperor from where his portrait was displayed to the auditorium and display it, and various ceremonies would be held in front of it. In the last war, World War II, many soldiers died under the slogan, "Long live the emperor," but there was no talk of abolishing the imperial system at all. Isn't this a uniquely Japanese culture? Furthermore, the nature of the imperial family and its sense of distance from the people change with the times. Before the war, the emperor lived on the altar, but after the war, he became closer to the people and became closer to the emperor. Since the Heisei era, members of the imperial family have sometimes bowed their heads in front of the general public, for official duties such as visiting disaster-stricken areas. Before the war, such a figure for the imperial family was unimaginable. I was on the altar, and I was very afraid to worship the true image of the shrine. Before the war, it would have been unthinkable for the emperor to personally greet the people in words or to run around Japan. Filled circle, law is not an absolute entity, laws are not absolute. The absolute essence is the will of the people. There is no such thing as a law. All we have to do is change the law based on what the people want, what they want to do. And the feeling that "laws should be changed for the sake of the people." Regarding the Imperial House Law, in order for the imperial household system to continue as a stable system in the future, it must be viewed from the perspective of what is necessary for stable succession to the imperial throne. Originally, the discussion should have continued even after His Royal Highness Prince Hisahito was born. The crisis situation continues because successive cabinets and diets have abdicated their responsibilities. Considering the impact on the future of those currently eligible to inherit the imperial throne, I believe it is desirable to conclude the discussion as soon as possible without postponing it. Profile of Mr. Itsuo Sonobe, born in 1929. He graduated from Kyoto University Faculty of Law. He served as an assistant professor at the same university's Faculty of Law before earning a doctorate in law. He has served as a judge of the Tokyo District Court, Tokyo High Court, Maebashi District Court, Supreme Court investigator, etc. He was a Supreme Court justice, 1989 to 1999.